this term you will be able to see here, SEO. What's SEO? So SEO is basically search engine optimization. Suppose if I want, if suppose if you want to play a game, like if you're playing a game and if you want to see some posts on it. So suppose if you go to internet, suppose Chrome, and you search latest updates on Valorant, you will be getting certain websites, right? Now, I guess most of you know certain websites by their name, by their domain. If we talk about Wikipedia, it's engraved in our mind, right? We know that we have to go to Wikipedia if there's a project and we need something. That's because Google and other websites, other web browsers, not websites, web browsers are ranking it. That is what search engine optimization is. It basically comes under marketing, but even a web developer needs to know the stuff, because if you're coding websites, see, web browsers are designed to conduct things in the most efficient way. But if your code is not making logic, like even if it's just working but it's not following those rules, like everything on the internet has to follow certain protocols or rules, it might be acceptable but it not might be exactly correct. If it's not that, then the browser is just not going to show it. It's going to screw up your chances of anyone getting any traffic. So traffic is a little more comprehensively, but we won't do that right now. So SEO has to do with certain things. So Ari, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Gaurav. Gaurav, you mentioned that SEO is basically marketing in a sense. So can you give me specific specifications about how it is marketing, to be honest?
Okay. So
Yeah,
if
system
suppose
optimization is included in marketing.
yeah. So if suppose you are developing a product, okay. If suppose
Mhm.
you are working on a suppose you own a company for selling clothes, right? So we call it XYZ company. Like we call it XYZ company, and there are marketing people, right? They will be using Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms to advertise it. So basically, so that it reaches out to people. So that's what marketing people will be doing, right? But this website, it's the place where you will be actually coming to purchase things. Now, you can visit these websites through the links embedded in the posts on Instagram and Facebook, but you'll definitely want people to come to it without actually going to those posts. Suppose if a person is looking for t-shirts, the person types in the search bar that cheap t-shirts under 1,000 rupees, and if the web browser is ranking your website, it's a good thing because people are getting to know about it. And if it's ranking second, first, or third, or at least in the first page, it's a very good thing. But if it's not getting ranked, if it's getting ranked 40,000 or 50,000, no one's gonna check it. There are even chances that that Google and major other browsers won't even index your website. Index is basically they won't care about your website; they'll just ignore it because it's not following those protocols. So you see, this comes under marketing because SEO is taught as a strategy under marketing. It's really important. It's not as important for web development, but if you know it, just if you know a little bit of it, it's going to be very helpful because it will basically teach you how to be a better coder. So moving on
Yeah,
to the next part, Ari,
got it.
the
Thank you.
question
I have a question. Can I
answered.
ask?
Yeah, yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, you told that there are two types of websites. One is static, and another one is a type of website which has some JavaScript backend coding. So can you please
No,
give
no,
an
no.
example? Yeah.
That's not what I said. I said on the basic level, we have two types of websites. We have static websites. Okay, I'll be clearing the screen just a minute. We have static websites, and then we have web apps. Okay. So when we talk about these, static, I guess you understand the term, right? Static is basically which is not doing much. But even static websites can have JavaScript code. It doesn't mean that a static website cannot have JavaScript code. Like suppose if you want to go to some other window on clicking a link, if suppose or certain image, it can be achieved directly using HTML, but you can also have JavaScript code running it. If suppose you have a button which is changing the how the navigation is appearing on different devices or something like that, like you're experimenting on something, but it's on the base. Or suppose if you have just a website for like I'll give you an example. Suppose if you have a website for printing some code, like printing something on the page. Suppose I give you an input area and I want you to write anything you want, and then there's the output area and everything is coming out. So everything is being dealt on the front end itself. Nothing's going to the back end, right? You have JavaScript code here because I just told you that HTML and CSS do not do these things. They just make up the structure and the design. That's what JavaScript will do. That's why we have static websites also using JavaScript as a main language. But then there are web apps. Okay, I like take example of Flipkart. Flipkart is a very big website, right? Like they are selling things and stuff. They need to manage a lot of things. It's not just the front end. They also need to store credit card information and all. They need to store addresses. They need to contact people and all. So it's HTML and CSS. Like you do not have a backend. You just have these three things in the front end. It's possible for the front end using just JavaScript, but is it is it sensible? Like won't have databases and all. It's not sensible, right? So you need certain things. You need certain technologies which are handling these. So that's going to be done in the backend because you don't want the front end to deal with credit card information, because there's a thing called XSS attacks and other things. People can run it very easily. But I have to show this to you. Just a minute.
Just open our SRM one.
Yeah, take the case of our school website. Okay, I'll be going to this one. View page source. I'll be explaining these things later on. This is JavaScript code, right? This is some code written. This is JavaScript. GS custom. Yeah. So this is a bit of JavaScript code. So this is visible on your end. If I have a program for processing this on your end, in my end, if suppose there's someone who is infecting my device and it's the credit card information is getting processed over here, I'm screwed. My data can get leaked. My bank balance is going to become zero, and I don't want that. So we have the backend where it is going to be dealt with. Backend is not on your end; it's on the server end. So that's why we have a clear distinction. So when we make web apps, we take these things into account. But for static apps, it's possible. You do not need much. It's very simple. You just make everything on the front end. You do not need a backend. Okay. About this part, I check out.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
have one question. Right now, I saw that you did something called view source to see
Yeah.
what are the programs we have for our school. So is it can be means can we do it for any website? For example, I want to see
Yes.
how Amazon is coded, so I can just search
You
view
want it?
source and
I can show it to you right now. Just a minute.
I mean, most of the things you cannot see because it's proprietary software. They literally have license on the softwares. So if
Yeah,
you leak
they have
legal,
that's correct. Yeah.
you'll get a DMCA notice or something.
Okay, Radiman, don't go over that stuff right now because we do not have people who know everything here. You know that stuff. Licensing and stuff, I was not going to explain right now. That's way too different from what we're dealing with right now primarily. So what's JavaScript? This is the JavaScript bit. Are you able to understand it? No, right? So when websites want to do this, when they don't want you to know what the code is, they are going to remove the white space. White space is basically the blank spaces which you have between characters. They're going to remove it for JavaScript and all, so that the code's all messed up and the person is not able to make it. And you can have scripts to decode this, but it's not going to make much sense because it's anything on the front end, you make it keeping in mind that it doesn't reveal any sensitive information which can harm someone. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so that's what Amazon and certain other websites like these do. So there are two more questions. Our school's website is coded in JavaScript. So guys, please turn on your video. So Chashmita is asking that, if it's possible. So I talked about the client side and I talked about the server side. Now you're accessing a website. Suppose if I want to go to Amazon.com. Okay. Now this is me. Suppose this person is me, and I want to go to Amazon.com. Now there's nothing called Amazon. The name itself is not going to get stored on the server side, right? I talked that this is a server where your files are stored, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and whatnot. So you need to request them, right? So whenever you type Amazon.com, this I won't be going deep into this thing. It is getting translated to some IP which is associated with that server and the location, exact location where those files are stored. This is again coming, and then this is going to the server. Like it's looking for that exact server which matches that description or the location. And if that matches, it asks the server for those files. And if the server also has its certain set of rules, if defined, if it's not defined, then it just follows the default rules. And if it's the conditions are met, then it will take those files and it will send those. Yeah. So did anyone ask
Okay,
something?
I'm gonna, yeah. So basically, um, sorry for like interrupting. Anyone who's wondering like development is different to competitive programming, and people are joining. I have noticed this a lot, that competitive programming, they're joining it because it's related to programming. The name of programming is in there. I just want to make something clear. Programming is more in development than in competitive programming. So if you're like just making that clear right now, okay? So if you have any doubts, if you want to switch departments, you can do it right now. And here's this fun thing. Discord runs on a web browser. Discord is practically a web browser. It's HTML and CSS, everything. So hit Control-Shift-I, and if you're running Discord in PC, hit Control-Shift-I. A console will open up similar to Google Chrome. Okay, go ahead. You can continue. I'll leave now. Okay.
I guess that's called an Electron app, right?
Your voice isn't audible.
Can't hear you properly.
Gaurav, I think I should continue from here. Yeah, I think there is some internet
Yeah, Shivansh,
connectivity
yeah.
issue. Yeah, so this basically tells us how a web page is loaded to your server. So, okay, so what happens is that you request for a URL, it goes to a DNS server. So we will not go into much detail, just to give you a broad idea what happens. So it goes to a DNS server and it translates it to an IP address, which helps us to locate which server is the website being hosted to. Next, the IP address, the information, whatever is there, it is transferred back to the user in chunks. Then the browser initiates request, and then this request goes to the server on which the website is hosted. Now this server, what it does is that it processes the request and returns some static pages in small chunks, and then these static pages get rendered on your web browser, and then you are able to see the website. Okay, so are there any questions related to this? Okay, so I'm moving on to the next slide.